up.
So guys, my Yamaha R3 has just now reached about a little over 600 miles. This is the first oil change. So what I wanted to do is make a video on the process of changing the oil yourself. I do have the option to take it to get done at the dealer where I bought the bike, but the reason why I'm refusing to do so is I'm kind of a hands-on guy. Unless it comes to like some serious mechanical problems or adjustments that need to be made with the proper tools that I might not have, then by all means I would definitely take it to the dealer. So let me see, I believe I'm at I think I'm at 695. Let's see here. Well, actually I'm at 753 miles. I don't know if y'all can see that. Yeah. So I wanted to show you a few things. First and foremost, you see where the oil indicator is blinking. I'll show you how to reset that here once we get the oil change done. So for the first thing you want to do is, the bike's cold. I haven't even turned it on this morning. So you want to get the bike warmed up. So we're going to go ahead and do that. Okay guys, moving on. So basically the only three tools you're gonna need, other than maybe an oil filter remover tool, I really don't think you're gonna need one. A lot of people have complained that by factory the filter itself is on there pretty hard. I just don't see that being the case. It's probably because they just didn't take the fairing off to get a proper grip on the oils. But anyway, long story short, if you do need the tool, you can get those at your typical AutoZone, O'Reilly's, Advanced Auto Parts, whatever auto store that you might have in your area. But basically all it is a tool that grips the filter to help remove it with a lot more ease. I'm personally going to try this without it, just to show you guys that it's not as difficult as some people complain about. Anyway, moving on. So what you're going to need is an open wrench, size 12 millimeter, your typical socket wrench with I'm using I guess if you want to call it a Allen wrench tip on a socket connector for like 4 millimeters in size. That's going to be for the fairings that we need to take off. By the way, there's going to be 1, 2, and 3 fairing screws that you're going to need to remove in order to give you access to the filter and the drainage screw. Now, as far as oil is concerned, because this is only the first oil change, I'm going to go ahead and use the Yamaha 10 weight 40. I live in Texas. This is the recommended weight for my area, my region. I'm sure you guys might have something different, but I'm going to be using the 10 weight 40. Now, on my second oil change, I will no longer use Yamaha. This is still considered a break-in point. After this oil change, on the next round, I'm going to go full synthetic. I'll make another video on what oil I decide to go with when that time comes. So it takes about, if I'm not mistaken, I think it's 3.2 quarts of oil. So the fourth one was just in case. We'll see. And then of course the filter. There's many kinds of oils out there for motorcycles. I mean, the list goes on and on. It's just really to your choosing, what you feel comfortable using, the brand you feel more comfortable with. I chose to go with the Yamaha because that's what's already in the bike from factory. So in my choice would be to just go ahead and go with what's already in the bike. Now, like I said, on the second oil change, I'm sorry, this would be considered the second oil change because factory puts the first oil in the engine for distribution, and then of course the owner replaces it at 600 miles, so that's considered the second. So the third, I should say, will be full synthetic. And again, I'll make another video when that time comes. Sorry about the sweat, guys. As you can probably see me dripping here. It's hot as hell here in Texas, and I'm in a garage with no AC or fan, so bear with me on that. So anyway, let's go ahead and get started. Okay, so let's go ahead and take off the fairing screws first. up, and then I'll go ahead and just use the my fingers to unscrew the rest. Got one. Okay, so something I want to point out, the front tip fairing and the top by the knee are going to be smaller in size. The longer one's going to be located by the kickstand. I'd also like to note that the kickstand does not come with a washer, whereas the other two come with this, I don't know if you can see that, but it's just a clear white washer. Plastic washer. Alright, so once you get those screws off, oh, I'm sorry guys, one more thing, almost screwed up. You will need to take this top fairing off as well, and that's because this has a plastic insert that comes up inside underneath that, and then there's a grommet that it locks in place, so without taking this one off, you'll never get this off. I apologize about that. Wow, I didn't even need the socket for these. So I guess that's to show you, you don't really need to make these extremely tight. You know, finger tight probably is all you need. These are the kind of grommets I'm talking about. I don't know if you can see that, but there's one there and one there. So as you can see, this would have never came off without taking this one off. And then to take this fairing off, it's kind of tricky. If you can see here, see how it's got that little, I guess if you want to call that a bridge, you actually have to push that downward and out in order to get it off. Okay, and so by doing that, now you can see you've got access to your drainage, a screw, and your filter. So let's go ahead and get the oil pan. Let me get a closer shot of this for you. So there's your oil filter, and then right below it, right there, that's your drainage screw. Now, I didn't put a bike stand on this because truly it's not really necessary. You saw where the drainage screw is at. That's actually going to give it a better drainage because of the fact that it's at this angle. So the oil's basically going to come in this direction, whereas if you have it flat, you're still going to have a bit of oil that stays up inside that oil pan. Oh yeah, another thing I want to point out is that to allow the oil to drain quicker and easier, go ahead and undo your fill plug. And then of course you need your oil pan and your oil funnel. Alright, let me see if I can angle this a little better. There we go. Alright, let's get this going. Oh, and you need a little rag just in case you get oil on yourself. Hold on. Sweating up a storm here. You know, it's such a shame that oil's coming out really clean, but you know, it's recommended at 600 miles. You gotta change the oil, so you gotta do what they say, otherwise your warranty ain't worth a damn. So we're gonna let that drain. Let me go ahead and take that oil filter off too, so let's see how difficult it is these people on YouTube have been saying. Remember, this is the first oil change and I'm doing it myself by hand, so get some of this oil off my hands. Alright, let's see how tight this really is. Or how hard, I should say. Well, they weren't joking, it was on there pretty damn good. But it was just a matter of getting a damn grip on it. Okay. Let's let that drain for a while. Okay, so after we've let that drain to the point where either it's at a slow drip or in this case no drip at all, I like to leave it as long as it needs. Honestly, I gave it about a good 15 minutes to drain. So let's start putting everything back. Ugh. Starting with the drain plug. I don't have the torque specifications, but you really don't need to tighten it extremely, you know, strong. Just as long as it makes a good tight connection, I would think it's fine. Besides, we'll run it and test it for any leaks before we put the fairings on. Oh, also, I like to wipe the outer ring of the filter because it does have crud on it. You know, road residue and whatnot. Right. Oh, nice. I didn't know this, but I guess if you buy Yamaha brand oil filters, let me show you something here. It comes with a protective sleeve on it, but if you take that sleeve off, it already comes pre-lubed on the O-ring. I was going to mention that a lot of times you can grab a little bit of the oil that was drained and rub it around the ring. Just makes it a lot easier when it comes time to take it off on the next oil change. But in this case, That's pretty sweet. They did that for us already. So let's just put the filter on. And here the idea is, once you get it finger tight, you want to do about a quarter of a turn. I give it about a quarter of a turn and then slightly half of that. And then that should do it, you know. You don't want to overdo it either, because it's going to be hell to get off. Okay, so now that we've got our filter on, our drain plug on, we can go ahead and continue with putting the oil in it. So let's do that next. Okay guys, so at this point I had to change out the drain for this one because it's got a narrower tip, and I could actually just put it in there and, you know, put the oil in. But I also wanted to take a note for you guys. If you are concerned about the actual torque for the engine oil drain bolt, it's recommended to be 15 foot-pounds of torque. Okay, and the recommended oil replacement, if you're not doing the oil filter, it's basically 1.90 US quarts, but if you're doing the filter like we did in this case, it comes out to 2.22 quarts. So what I'm going to do is go 2 quarts full right off the bat, then we're going to check the level, and then crank the engine up, let it circulate a bit, disperse the oil where it needs, and then we'll fill it up the rest from that point. So anyway, I just wanted to make note of that for you guys. So those are the 2 quarts. I don't know if you can see that, but if you stand the bike upright, you will see that it's pretty much at the top end. But what we want to do is run the engine just a bit, because you'll notice that it will drop. So now, if you look at your your fill window. I don't know if you can see that, but it dropped dramatically. So now here's where the .22 come in, and of course I'm just going to guesstimate on that. My guess would be it would probably be right around maybe about probably 4 ounces. We'll start off with that. Let's try another one. That little cap's on there pretty good. So is this one. There we go, I got it. Alright, so we said about 4, so let's try that. Almost.
Jack it up.
That's it. That's where you want it. Okay guys, so what I want to do here now is show you how to reset this. I'm trying to get that, there we go, I'm trying to get the light from out of y'all's eyes. Let me see if I can move the bike. Hold on. Alright, that might be a little better. So I don't know if you're going to be able to hear me over the bike, but you can obviously see where it's indicating that the oil needs to be changed. So what you want to do is you pick select, which is the top is reset, the bottom is select. You want to select your trip meter. And you want to hold select. That's going to start blinking. I'm sorry, let me do this again. Okay, hold down. Alright, and then so basically what you're going to do is hold reset, and now you'll see that it went to 0 miles and the oil light's no longer blinking, and there you go. Now we want to check for in case we have any leaks. And that looks good. Earlier you saw me wiping down the concrete. That was because the lids from the oil that I was pouring into the engine spilled a little bit. That's why I was wiping that area down. It had nothing to do with the filter or the drain screw. So now it's basically just a reversal of putting back the fairings, which I don't think I need to really show you guys that. I'm pretty sure you can figure that out. If you got them off, it's just basically the process of going back and putting them on. And that'll complete the video, guys. That's second, well, depending on how you look at it, I guess we can say this is the first oil change from factory on my Yamaha R3. The next oil change that comes around will be full synthetic. And hope you guys liked the video. Ride safe, and I'll see you soon. Peace out.